This video is about kennen versus wissen. We know that both wissen and kennen mean to know. Let's start with kennen. Kennen means to know a person, place, or thing. Kennen also means to be familiar with. The stem of kennen is ken. The endings for conjugating kennen are normal. Remember, Eastern Standard Time 10:10 to help you remember endings. It stands for E, S, T, T, En, T, En. So we have ich, du, er, sie, es, wir, ihr, sie, and sie. And your answers are, pause the video if you want to try to conjugate on your own. You have kenne, kennst, kennt, kennen, kennt, kennen. You can use kennen in the following ways. Ich kenne Harrison Ford. I know or am familiar with Harrison Ford. Ich kenne Springfield. Ich kenne Missouri State University. These are just examples. Now let's learn wissen. Wissen means to know a fact. The stem of wissen is wiss, but wissen resembles the modal verbs in that it has a different stem for the left, the singular side, than it does for the right, the plural side. The stem on the left is weiß, and also, just like the modals, the singular side has no endings for the ich and er, sie, es forms. The endings for all other forms are normal. Note the ending on the du form is like that of heißen, and we'll talk about why in a second. So we have ich, du, er, sie, es, wir, ihr, sie, and sie. We conjugate this. Pause the video if you want to try it on your own. As weiß, weißt, weiß, wissen, wisst, wissen. Note for the du form, the stem ends in sz. That's like two s's, similar to heißen, which also ends in two s's. You cannot add st to that because you'll have st, so you just add t. I find wissen a bit funny. I know Harrison Ford is kennen, but I don't know where he lives, what he eats for breakfast, when he sleeps. Those facts, stalker facts I call them, all require wissen. Wissen tends to be set up as ich weiß, I know, das, wann, wo, wie, warum, was. I know that, when, where, how, why, what. In this form, all of the bold words will act like subordinating conjunctions, and they'll kick the conjugated verb in that clause to the end. For example, ich weiß, wo sein Haus ist. I know where his house is. Or ich weiß, dass am Samstag bis 10 Uhr schläft. I know that he sleeps on Saturday till 10 o'clock. You may see some sentences to watch out for, like das ich or ich das, I know that. I'm leaving the verb know blank. Or blank du das, do you know that? This is tricky when you see sentences where the thing being known is es or das. You need to look for what is being known. You cannot know what know to use unless you know what is being known, or the information that will be known. Here are a few to try. So pause the video and take a moment to see if you can figure out whether you should be using weiß or kenne. The first example has, mein bester Freund Stefan geht sehr oft nach New York. Das weiß ich. I know that my best friend Stephen often goes to New York. That is a fact. Number 2, das ist das Mädchen von den Nachbarn. Das kenne ich. I'm saying I know her, the girl of the neighbors, the neighbor girl. Number 3, das ist Beyoncé. Die kenne ich. I am familiar with Beyoncé. Note, in the last example, I changed das to die. This time the die refers back to die Frau, Beyoncé. We have 6 examples for you to try. So pause the video and choose between wissen and kennen and conjugate them correctly. You should have. Weißt du, wo Red Lobster ist? Kennst du Red Lobster? The first one is, do you know where Red Lobster is? A fact. The second one is, do you know or are you familiar with Red Lobster, the restaurant? Number 3. Wir kennen Professor Schmidt und wissen, was unterrichtet. We know or are familiar with Professor Schmidt, and we know what he teaches. Ihr wisst, dass ich bei der Bibliothek arbeite. You all know that I work at the library. Die Studenten kennen die neuen Getränke bei Starbucks. The students know or are familiar with the new drinks at Starbucks. Sie wissen nicht, ob die Getränke gut oder schlecht schmecken. They don't know if the drinks taste good or bad. That would be a fact. I hope this has made this a little bit more clear.